great deal of preparation and planning went into the resumption of the initiation season. Traditional leaders in the Eastern Cape agreed to the suspension of the winter season of the custom when the pandemic was ravaging the country. But getting the traditional rite of passage for Xhosa men back on track and the summer season to commence required a lot of input, dialogue between the relevant stakeholders. Let's bring in Nkululeko Nyembezi. He's in Mthatha, I understand, to expand further on the preparation in place to ensure safe passage for the initiates. Nkululeko, very good morning to you. So firstly, talk to us about the threat of cancellation of the custom and how it's affecting young people preparing for this.
Thank you very much, Blaine. Of course, we are coming live from the Western Pondoland in the Eastern Cape. This is a region where initiation has been under spotlight for quite some time. You remember that between 2000 and to date, the province has registered almost plus minus 1,200 initiates that have lost their lives. But today, we are here in Port St. John's in the Pondoland, where we are going to talk about the state of preparedness as we are going for the summer season. We are now joined by the chairperson of the Eastern Cape House of Traditional Leadership in the Eastern Cape, Ulwaluko, who will be detailing about the state of preparedness about these initiatives that will be going for initiation school. Thanks a lot, and thanks a lot for joining us, Chief.
It's really a pleasure. Thank you very much. Welcome to Pondoland, and welcome to this clan, and it is really a pleasure for us to really be alive. And to all South African, good morning. And I just want to clear, at the present moment, I've just stepped aside as the chair of the House. I'm merely chairing the Congress of Traditional Leaders of South Africa, as well, of course, a member of the Provincial House of Traditional Leaders as its chair.
Let's talk about the state of preparedness, because we have seen a number of boys registering for the initiation. Are you ready as traditional leadership?
Well, we have no choice but to be ready. And as I indicated in the previous week, the Congress of Traditional Leaders of South Africa had to convene a special general meeting of all traditional leaders because it is us who actually presented a plan to our government, both provincial and national, to clearly indicate that we do have a plan, and we are under extreme pressure. Our children need to undergo initiation from boyhood to manhood. And we're very, very happy that our national government endorsed this together with the provincial government as well as Parliament. So we are ready, because there are some disappointments.
Let's talk about the backlog, because we understand that you jumped at the winter initiation season simply because of the COVID-19 outbreak. So are you capable enough to handle the new wave now, the second wave?
Well, we have no choice because we were warned that there would be a second wave. Hence, we pressurized our government before the arrival of the second wave that let us be allowed. And government, of course, as our icon Nelson Mandela says, the wheels of government are grinding slowly but surely. But at last they did actually promulgate, and we had to make sure that we wait for the government, because the respect of the law is paramount, as well as the respect of our constitution is also paramount. That is why, therefore, we have no choice but to make sure that everyone complies so that our children are safe. And of course, ourselves as parents, as well as Amakankata and Ingcibi, everyone else involved in the initiation process must be safe. And hence, we have actually put in place certain measures that circumcision lodges, Amaboma, must be conducted properly by the experienced people. And again, that men who are actually experienced must be the ones who actually oversee this initiation process from the beginning to the end, and they must also themselves be trained. As you know, after the intervention of the government, it is imperative that initiates must also undergo a testing, and they had to be tested before and by medical doctors identified by the Department of Health. And we're very, very happy that the Department of Health is working hand in glove with us to make sure that that actually happens. From the sole of the feet to the crown of the head, each boy is actually being screened. And more and above, of course, is to test the COVID-19 pandemic, because we must all be sensitive about it. And so, by and large, we are really, really, really happy that we are prepared, because, again, the initiation schools must be actually overseen by people who themselves are actually going to be trained, in fact have been trained, as well as in the Namakangata, who must also be trained. In the Eastern Cape, we do have the Act number 5 of 2016, and which prescribes certain other measures in addition to the customary rigid rules. Government has intervened, which we welcome the intervention, and again now these COVID-19 regulations, again we had to respect them. Department of Health, through our Minister Zweli Mkhize, has been with us, and we actually presented our plan, and he asked certain questions, we clarified, and we then undertook that we are going to follow the health protocols, as well as, of course, our own Minister, Nkosazana Zuma. Again, she will have to make sure that everything is in line with the national policy, and again, we did everything else. But on this issue, we are talking about the pressure. Yes, in summer 2019, and some of the boys wanted to go because they were going for matric, but we had to persuade them, because in the Eastern Cape we must be 18, and so we told them that come June you will go there. But when this pandemic was there in June, you'll recall that the Eastern Cape, when all other people were saying, no, let us suspend it, we said, no, let us consult widely. We did consult widely, and did actually reason with our people that it would not be proper to undergo initiation in winter. Many did actually hit our call, and we are very, very grateful to them. And it means, therefore, that we have got a backlog. There's another backlog, though. We do have people, because in South Africa, it is only this province that has been granted this opportunity. Now, the pressure we have, there are many of our people in Gauteng, there are many of our people in the Western Cape, and they are flocking, coming this way. And we were very, very, very worried about that. And we were saying they must stay where they are, because we don't want them to come here, because we don't have limited resources. It means, therefore, that potentially 3 provinces in one are actually handling this. Hence, really the resources of our government are stretched as I speak. And but so far, we are very, very happy about the manner in which the government is doing, because there are many people who has undergone this initiation without following the law, the illegal. Over 20, when I last checked, circumcision lodges were actually in place. We had to issue a royal decree to make sure that all those things are dealt with. But the boys must be taken, but we are short of rescue centers. Hence we were calling with the NGOs to help us with the rescue centers, especially now after the 17th. Many now are legal, but there are many that have been illegal, but we are working hard, especially the police are actually helping us. Again, there are limited resources, and hence we are calling for each and every parent that is having a child to make sure that that child complies with the custom, comply with the laws in the province, comply with the laws of the country, particularly, of course, the health protocol. It is in their interest, because after all, these are their children. And we as traditional leaders are really custodian of tradition, culture and custom, and we would like really to make sure because without them, without our community, we cannot be leaders.
Chief, already you have lost 4 initiates due to illegal initiation schools. What is it that you are doing to make sure that there is no mushrooming of illegal initiation schools in the province? Because this has been continuing for some time now.
What we have said in that Contralesa meeting is that in each and every locality, the Induna, people who are in charge of those localities, must actually be wide awake 24 hours a day and make sure that they work hand in glove with men who are themselves undergoing the initiation, and so that there is a monitoring team there. There is also another thing that we have agreed with the government in the Eastern Cape, rapid response teams in terms of COVID. We said all those teams must also work hand in glove with us so that we make sure that everything that is happening in each and every area, a traditional leader is aware. For instance, even in my area, I've identified about 4, and I already talked to the station commissioner to make sure that he set out a team because so that they can go there and remove those boys. And hence I was talking about this issue of taking them to a rescue center of some kind, because we had a rescue center in Bizana some time ago, but so far there is nothing. But we are actually imploring the NGOs to really help us, because we want to save our children.
So if you're saying you are ready to take 3 provinces in one, maybe are you ready then to take the blame if anything happened during this time of COVID-19 variant, if I may put that way?
First of all, we are not ready to take 3 provinces in one. Hence, our position is very clear, that those that are relying in Gauteng must remain there. Those that are in Cape Town, they must remain there. Their time is going to come. We are going to send our own people who have got the necessary expertise to help them to undergo this initiation from boyhood to manhood. Again, we had another pressure from Nelson Mandela, and which has been extended now, and we said they must also remain there, because there is the potential of boys coming from there to infect other boys or their parents in our community. We can ill afford that. Hence, I was saying, there's limited resources. The government has got its own budget, and it does not have a budget for Gauteng, it does not have a budget for Western Cape. It would be unfair to the funds that have been set out for development of the Eastern Cape that it is doing that. And I'm raising this to really appeal to parents, to boys, to everyone else in the country. Please, they must stay where they are. Allow the Eastern Cape to do it. And fortunately, there are some other areas in the Eastern Cape, for instance in Maluti, that said they are not going to be able to do this. Hence, we are saying they must come this side. The Eastern Cape, I'm very happy when I heard that the leadership of the Eastern Cape House of Traditional Leaders deployed all the members of the House of Traditional Leaders to every area, especially the hotspots, to make sure that this is closely monitored. To take a blame, we can't take a blame. And but as leaders, we must actually act responsible. Hence, we are saying the blame lies squarely with the families, because the families are the major culprit here. A mother and a father, they've got primary responsibility. The leaders within the locality, they've got a primary responsibility. As you know, if we have got all powers and functions that we have been crying for from the government for many years, I would not even hesitate that I'm at the head of Amabala, keen to take blame, so that each and everything that is happening there. But notwithstanding that, we said, even if the government is actually pussyfooting on this issue, we must stand up as traditional leaders and do our best to save our children. And we must also take this opportunity to say, even the SABC and other people, and we are very angry as traditional leaders when we saw certain other things going to the circumcision lodges and certain other people going to circumcision lodges, actually exposing this culture. This culture to us is noble. This culture, there's nothing about it in the whole world. Hence, it is secret. When you talk about Ingcibi, you won't understand it, but we understand it better. When you talk about the Kankata, you won't understand it, but we understand it better. Hence, we don't want anything that is being done there And we did find SABC some years ago. I think we're going to send another Msilawengwe to them because we feel aggrieved at the present moment.
Okay,
In fact,
Chief, because of time, I think you will have to hold it there. Yeah, that was Chief Ulwaluko Nyembezi representing Congress of Traditional Leadership of South Africa. You'll remember that initiation at one stage, it was just dubbed as much commercialized in the province. People are crying about the commercialization of the initiation ritual. But we will have more time, maybe some time. For now, back to studio.
All right, Nkululeko Nyembezi live for us in the Eastern Cape. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for your reporting.